I'd like to welcome everyone to Transform You, where we do live coaching. And we have Blanca Rodriguez. We're so glad to have you.
I am so
Blanca.
happy to be here. So excited.
Yeah, so won't you introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to work on?
Yes, my name is Blanca, of course. I am the owner of Wounded Healer LLC. Under this umbrella, I do massage therapy, canine massage therapy, holistic life coaching, fitness for individuals 45 plus. I've been a professional dancer and teacher for over 40 years, actually. So that's a big blessing. I'm a speaker educator and I'm an author as well. And yes, I would love to talk about finances. Actually, I have a
Mhm.
lot of childhood trauma when it comes to finances. My father, his life was taken when he was only 43 years old at his jewelry store where he used to provide for the family. He was a very abundant man, a very successful individual, and his life was taken too soon, too violently, and definitely from then on, life really took a turn, not for the better, because my mother has she had at that point chronic untreated mental illness. And on the other hand, my mom came from extreme poverty.
Wow.
And with those factors right there, it was the abundance of my father, that
Hmm.
he was progressive, that he was bound for success, and he really did achieve that level of success. And then my mother, that she was totally dependent on him. And
Yeah.
yes, he left the family set up with life insurances and everything at that time. Now, this was back in 1973.
How
Actually,
old were you at the time?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
8 years old, with this drastic change. And it was definitely for the worse. My father died in a very violent way at a
Hmm.
place where I absolutely knew where it was, because I would go over there all the time to
Oh.
be, and my father was my favorite person. So, and then after that, we were in Puerto Rico. My mother's meant she went into a deep depression. She never recovered from it. But then after many years, we come to the fact that my mom had chronic untreated mental illness,
Mhm.
and she was a very violent person as well. She was absolutely absent emotionally from our lives when my father died. I didn't know how to grieve. I was 8 years old. It was the time when it was about, shh, you don't talk about mental
Yeah,
health,
yeah,
you don't talk about the dead. Talking about the dead was like, that is not good for anybody. When we know that is the whole opposite, that the more
right.
support we have, the better we will be able to heal and deal with this. With this horrible situation and with the
Mm.
tragedy. So I most likely grew up around a lot of silence
Yeah,
myself.
Yes.
yeah.
And it took a toll. And now that I go back in time, it's like, oh, no wonder why I've been so messed up when it comes to finances, when it comes to
Yeah.
that abundance, when it comes to respecting money for what it is. And yeah,
Yeah.
I have work. I'm a hardworking person, and I feel like I have improved tremendously
Yeah.
throughout time. But I hit rock bottom. I don't know how many times I hit rock bottom when it came to being horrible at finances, being overly impulsive about my actions when it came to money. My priority, I would say, is like, okay, either I am going to pay the rent or the light bill, or I'm going to go buy a nice dress and shoes. Well, I will
Yeah.
go buy nice dress and shoes, actually. So
Yeah.
my priorities were really messed up for a very, very long time. I am a work in progress, definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Yes.
and that's, yeah, yeah. And
That's
it's,
Blanc, it's such a great topic.
Oh, it's so
And
great.
thank
so
you.
sorry about the loss of your dad.
Yeah.
That was,
Thank you.
and really, it sounds like that you lost both your parents on some level, right? You lost
On
your
that day.
dad, but also you lost part of your mom because of
Absolutely.
her being totally overwhelmed with the responsibility of being someone who's not supporting the family, but also being put in a position to where, what am I going to do now, right?
Hmm.
And
And
losing your husband.
losing a husband, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
What child were you? How many children?
Me and my two siblings. I'm the
What
youngest.
was your father like? What do you remember about him?
Well, my father was an amazing, good soul, a
Mm.
go-getter. He was a very intelligent man. There was a big exodus of Puerto Ricans to the US in search for a better life, in search for the American dream. So in the late 50s, early 60s, my father moved with everybody to New York City, and he taught himself how to speak English. That's the first thing that he did.
Wow.
And there was no Google, no YouTube in those times. So he taught himself how to speak English. He went in with a dream of having a business. He ended up with 3. He was the owner of the building where we used to live at in New York City. So he was bound to really great things in life. He was gentle. He was very, very loving, very calm and collected, an avid reader, a music lover. So, and I learned everything about laughter at home, because laughter definitely started at home. It was all laughter, jokes, pranking.
Yeah,
and my father, my mother as well, is still a very funny woman. So that aspect, it was like everybody's always laughing, and the music.
Yeah.
My mother says that I was born dancing, but the music has been something that has helped me through the hardest moments of my life. Music
Yeah.
and dance was really that refuge where I could go, where I felt safe, loved, where I could really, really
Yeah.
be myself and let loose. And it's something that I carry in my heart all the way to this day, that I'm still teaching. I'm still teaching Zumba. So it's a beautiful thing that at almost 60, I'm still teaching. So it's a big honor for me, considering all the high mileage that I put to this body, because I was really self-destructive. It wasn't only the financial aspect of my going downhill. It was so many other things. I abused drugs and alcohol for a long time. I was jumping from person to person and trying to fill a void that I could only fill it up on my own. And that was product of shame, silence, not really
So-
comprehending mental health, how important mental health is for everybody.
What about let's circle back to the finances. So after you 8
I have
years
a
old,
question.
go ahead.
I have a question. Do you mind? With your father, you said he was violently killed. Was he at his business when it was
Yes.
done?
He was at the jewelry store. Yeah. Where I went as a child.
So he was robbed?
Yeah, he was robbed.
Okay. He was robbed and he was killed in that position. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can go.
Good.
Well, the message, that I see, okay, is that if you're successful financially, somebody's going to hurt you.
Makes total sense.
And then you lose everything. You lose your love.
Sense.
You lose your family. You lose your joy, your fun, your laughter. You lose the most important things in your life if you're successful.
Yeah.
So why would you, just coming from that emotional view, right? That wound of all the messages you received, because no one would have robbed him if he wasn't successful, right? If he was not successful and his business had no money and no jewelry, nobody's coming, right? Just going there emotionally. So you come in, you're the little kid listening to everything, right? So they come in and the message is that if you're successful, you lose everything.
Are you ready for a journey of self-discovery and healing? Introducing A Roadmap to the Soul, a practical guide to love, compassion, and inner peace. This book offers practical tools and insights to navigate your inner landscape, release emotional blockages, and embrace your authentic self. Start your transformational journey today by getting your copy now. See the link in the description. And now, back to the lesson.
If you have money, they're coming to hurt you. So why would a part of you ever want to be successful?
Right. Makes
Why
sense.
would you want any money? When you're coming from that wounded look, it's like, it's like he didn't. It was one thing that he robbed your father and the family and the company, and he robbed and killed your father. Okay, horrible. Tragedy. But then we look at it as an 8-year-old, and then just being in the environment of all of that, and all the people, and they're communicating, and all of a sudden, if I am successful and I have money and I have things that are worth something, they're going to take my whole life and everything that I love away from me.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot,
Absolutely.
it makes total sense. And then the fact that after my father's death, my mother got out of poverty physically, but she never got out of poverty of the soul.
Right.
And with her mental illness, it was even worse. It was always the environment of money doesn't grow in trees. And she always, in my opinion, she always felt much more. I mean, she felt the poverty for the rest of her life. She really didn't get out of that we're gonna lack and we're gonna lack and we're gonna lack of everything. We didn't lack of anything because my father left us set up. Yeah.
Blanca, I think also that was maybe part of the emotional belief that your mom adopted.
Absolutely.
Was that she connected success and prosperity with loss. And that in a sense, I mean, sometimes we have illogical logic based on experiences. I mean, just a real simple example is if I was mistreated by a blonde-headed woman who had blue eyes, then I could avoid all blonde-headed, blue-eyed women the rest of my life because they're all bad. Well, it's an illogical logic that was founded in an experience, even though it's not true. It's true based on my emotional belief that I developed with the situation. I think what Hollycam insightfully is pointing out and trying to help is that there was this trauma that occurred.
Awful trauma.
And when we not only internalize the emotional experience of that, but we also develop belief systems from that experience. And those belief systems may or may not be true, but they're true to us on an emotional level.
Right.
And so really your dad was driven. He was an entrepreneur. He was unbelievably creative. He was intelligent. He was smart. And it was in reaching the heights of prosperity was connected to the entire family falling apart in a very tragic way.
Absolutely.
And so in a weird way, it created an association that needs to be broken, right? Like that's what you're saying today. I have an association of some level of financial sabotage that keeps happening.
And doesn't make sense.
I can work. I can do this. I can run businesses. I can write books. I can do Zoom. I can do this. And it doesn't make sense that this association keeps happening. And yet it's being repeated.
Right.
And so that you have the emotional experience and you have the belief system. And we're just trying to help you have awareness, because once we have awareness of it, then it can be broken.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And two, it's like, it makes, I mean, I could just see it because the way you said the story, you didn't say my father was brutally killed. You added the piece that I think is the piece, is that he was at work in a very safe place, that he was very successful in.
Yeah.
And there was the only people that buy those things he was selling was people with money. He was, he had beautiful gems and gold and things in a jewelry store, and they were coming to purchase them.
Yeah.
And so he's not only building wealth, he's selling things to wealthy people, right? So in this lifestyle he's creating for himself and his family, and bringing this beautiful life, and it was happening. And even though your mother was obviously mentally ill after that, who knows what she was receiving from your father and being able to maybe get help, that crashed.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, you had the trauma on top of anything that, you know, was not worked out yet, because we don't know her own, you know, her life as a child. But it's like, then you put that on top of it and that support system. Why would I want to be wealthy when I've just lost the most important thing in my life? You know, or like Dean says. And then it's like you come out of this and you know the story, right? And you see what happened as the smallest looking out. And then it's like, this is crazy. I'm sober. I'm this. I've put all these pieces together, right? It's like, okay, I was abused here and I acted out here and I did this and I sedated here. Okay. All right. We got this. Okay. And then it's like, okay, why am I not, the bank account's not big? You know, which makes no sense when you just look at your life and you look at how hard you've worked and all that you've done. Well, it's like on that deepest level, why would you?
Right.
Because all the goodness that you've brought, that you have, and the blessing that you have, the message is it's going to be robbed and you're going to be out of here. And so it's like challenging that yes, that was true. It was. It's what happened, and it happened to be the person that did that. It happened to be that day on that store on that person, but he was going to rob somebody.
Oh yeah.
Right? He was going to get what he wanted, right? It happened to be that day he came into your father and y'all's business and did the most heinous act. So it's like in this. It's like that's experience. But the truth is that what's in your father and in your family is high success and high wealth. It's your inheritance of who you are. And that we can't let that robber rob you anymore.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, because I think it's the belief. It's always the belief system, right? If for me, I'm a recovering addict, so I believe that I have a disease that is going to kill me, but I also have a belief system that is more powerful than that. As long as I take care of myself, love myself, and don't give myself that type of poison for my body, then I can live a great, beautiful, healthy life. So it's like, okay, there's two beliefs, right? They contradict each other, but which one do I water?
Absolutely.
So it's like, the truth is, yes, I was robbed. Our family was robbed of our wealth and our stability. And that is true. And it caused poverty mentality. And then it dug in. And then there's another truth. I am wealthy. I am financially stable. I am successful, and I am safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because,
I am safe.
The safety has to go with those.
Right.
You can't just be, I am wealthy, I am successful. That won't work for you. It is, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am successful, I am the best financial manager, and I am safe.
Especially the safe hit.
That's a big one.
It's a huge one, and I can tell you this: the moment that you said "I am safe," it was like a piece of my heart just did like, It was. This is powerful. It was like, it's like, something is like clicking.
Yes,
I am safe
with money. I am safe, wealthy. I am safe in successful financial decisions. See, you have to be safe, and you know that you're safe in your home. You know that you're safe in your business. You know that you're safe at the dance studio. You know you're safe on your podcast. You know this. I know you know this. You know you're safe in a bar. You do everything you have to do to keep you safe. You're safe in a restaurant if they're serving alcohol. You know how to do all of those things, but you haven't been told yet that you are safe with wealth, that you are safe with success, financial success, because you are successful. It's the financial success.
Yes.
I have to, but prior to this, I can be successful, but I have to make sure that money leaves me, because then I'm not safe. So I'll do everything for free, or I'll go buy the dress, or whatever. If there's any extra money, like you've learned how to take care of everything, have all of this now, like you've grown there, but it's like to have that accumulation. Well, I'm not safe.
Yeah.
So it's the accumulation with the safety also. It's like that will never be able to be said without that word.
Right. The association is prosperity is associated with death.
For you, right?
Financial struggle is associated with survival.
That's right.
So you'd rather survive than to die.
That's right.
And
so who can be mad at you?
Right. So what we're challenging, is we're breaking that off and saying, no, prosperity is associated with life. And you have paid the price, and you deserve to have the life that comes with prosperity.
Because it's your right that your father gave you.
Yeah, it's your inheritance.
It's your inheritance.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if he was here today, he would be so proud of your ambition and the things that you've done, and the works that you've pulled together in the company.
I agree. Is there something that I agree with all of my friends? You know what? If my dad, I have a beautiful picture of my dad close to me, and I look at him and it's like, bro, I know I'm making you proud. Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he wants to give you your wealth back.
Absolutely.
He does.
I agree. This is amazing. This is mind blowing. I am safe with wealth. I am safe with abundance. I'm safe with success. It's very, very powerful statement. And definitely you guys have taken me exactly where I needed to be. This is, to me, this is a miracle. I am so grateful and blessed for this moment.
Yeah, I'm so grateful too, because, and you know what's so beautiful, Blanca, is that, and the truth is that you have been safe. Nothing has happened to you, and you have had wealth in your accounts. You have had money in your pocket. You have had done things, even though another part of you had to get rid of it really quickly. Okay, it flowed through you. It was here, and then it moved. Okay, you just didn't have enough safety to hold it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like like you said, when I said it hit you, because it was the truth. It was like, oh, that's why I had to let it go. Not that I don't know what I'm doing. Not that I'm not, financially, have the ability or make the money or invest the money or, purchase the right things. It's like, you have all that ability. That, you want to take a class? Yeah. Take Dave Ramsey. You want to take this class? Yeah. You can take 1,000 classes now. Okay. And but you already have it. It was just the one piece that's connected to the trauma that you had to tell yourself is that, without realizing it, right, is that you had to say, if I have that, then that will happen, because it did. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, no, I am safe with that. I am safe with that. And it's like, that will be the mantra that you will say when you open your checkbook, when you write a check, when you use your credit card, when you put money in the bank, when you invest in anything, when you see it start accumulating, you will say that. You will continue to use that till the day you leave this earth.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is for the rest of my life, definitely, on a daily basis. And I love writing things down. I have Post-it notes and I write things down. Yeah. I have a planner. I'm old school, so my planner is a book. So I write on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I am safe with wealth.
I am safe.
I am safe with
Safe and
success
prosperity
and
Yeah.
prosperity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
a
this.
great way of doing it is you can go into the task app in your phone, and you
Hmm.
put "I am safe and prosperous," and have that come up every day at 6 a.m. in the morning. So it's the first thing you
Hmm.
see when
See
you
in the
wake
morning,
up. You
right?
see that over and over again. Just have it repeated over and over again on a
Oh
daily
yeah.
basis,
Let's build
and
that habit. Stat.
you
That's it.
just
That's right.
Yeah.
keep
Hmm.
speaking it. We were talking earlier about that there's opposing forces that come against these I am truths that we're declaring. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we declare these truths, and I can see that that these I
Mm-hmm.
am statements that they actually gather momentum and they start to bring about what we're saying. But we also have these opposing forces that are working against it, whether it's wounds or whether it's our histories or whether it's erroneous beliefs and so forth. And so we have to acknowledge the truth. We have to get insight about the truth of these
Yeah.
erroneous beliefs based on our experiences.
Right.
And then, secondly, we have to empower where we're
Right.
going. And it's in the
Hmm.
combination of those that we get to break free. And if we're persistent. And so we were talking earlier that about even if you look at John's gospel, Jesus has lots of I am statements. He says, I am the
Hmm.
good shepherd. I am the way and the truth and the life. I am the resurrection. I am the door. And I used to always think that he was actually telling people parts of his identity so they could understand him better. But I started to see recently is that perhaps he was declaring those things because he had opposite forces coming against him and he needed to affirm his identity.
Hmm.
So that
Uh-huh.
he had people that were wanting to kill him and to die, and he was struggling with the notion
Yeah.
that I may be gone forever. But no, he declared, I am the resurrection and the life.
Yeah, that
I
really
am the
kept
resurrection.
him. That really kept him. I mean, kept him
Right.
going,
Kept him
and
going
against all odds,
Against
against
because
all
all the
he
odds.
all
he
the
had he
opposing
had
forces.
haters left. I mean,
Yes.
what we call haters now, he had haters left and right that wanted him dead. And obviously, we know
Right.
the rest of this powerful story. And yes, I mean, words of affirmation. Imagine that even in the Bible,
Even in the
Yes.
Bible,
how
Even in the Bible.
powerful.
it's powerful,
Yes.
Mhm.
powerful. And
Yeah.
there's also an interesting thing too, and this is part of what my prayer is for you and the
Oh.
blessing that
Thank
I
you.
have for you. There's a word in the Old Testament which is shalom,
Mm.
which we know Jews will greet each other with shalom, shalom.
Right.
The word shalom actually translates into English as peace. It's also the first word that Jesus spoke to his apostles when he rose from the dead. He said, Peace be unto you, in John's gospel. I did a deep dive into that word, and peace is actually the atmosphere of heaven, of the different dimension. And when he taught us to pray in the Lord's Prayer, he said to pray, this is my secret, for your kingdom, Father, come here on earth as it is in heaven. So he says, the secret that I have is that I pray that this atmosphere that's in heaven to invade earth and to invade earthly situations, and that the primary atmosphere of heaven is this peace, this shalom. And we're supposed to call it forth. But I was doing a deep dive on this word shalom, and it actually is so much richer than the absence of fighting between two people.
Hmm.
It actually means protection.
Mm.
It means prosperity.
Mm.
It means healing.
Wow.
It means deliverance. And all these things are wrapped up in that one word that when heaven comes into a situation, what does it do? So Jesus taught this way. He said, okay, I pray for heaven to come here on earth as it is in heaven. There's a person blind there. And so when heaven comes, he gets his sight back, healing. Or if a person's tormented by demons, they get delivered from the demons. Or if we
Hmm.
have 5,000 people to feed and we only have 5 loaves and 2 fishes, when heaven comes, there's this prosperous outburst that occurs. And so all of these are different indications of that atmosphere coming and invading a situation. And part of what you're declaring is that you're connecting what? You're connecting healing from the experience with prosperity, with wholeness, and with protection,
Amen.
safety.
Yeah.
And so our prayer for you today is that
Yeah.
may that very atmosphere of shalom and
Yeah.
of peace that contains all those things, protection, healing, safety, prosperity, invade you and
Yes.
surround you and be with you from this day forward for the rest of your life.
Amen. Thank you.
Invade your home,
Yeah.
invade your business,
Your bank
invade your
account?
life, invade your bank account, and may it's I believe that it's all going to change in that whole, you're going to get the whole package. Like
Yeah.
the awesomeness of your life is that you've
Yeah.
gotten one piece here and one piece there and one piece there. No, we
Yeah.
want the entire
Entire
package.
package.
It's time for the entire package.
Amen. I agree.
Wow. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It is. We
Oh,
loved when
oh.
we were with you before, and now it's like, yay.
Oh my God, this is
Wow.
amazing.
This is
Yeah.
amazing.
What a beautiful moment, and thank you.
Yeah, so
I'm
we're
so
gonna
honored to be here.
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
so
we're gonna wind it
yay.
down.
Yeah.
So won't you share with the audience? We'll each share with our audience one thing we're going to take from today.
Yeah, I'll go first. I don't mind. What I'm going to take from today is that when we share our story with a loving heart and a loving ear, the peace that needs to be seen and the peace that needs to be loved will come. It's the love between us and the compassion that brings the peace that needs the attention and love, and then the freedom comes. Yeah, I saw it was so powerful for the intertwinement of it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so good.
yeah.
It's
What you
amazing.
going to take, Blanca?
My taking on this is that a new door of understanding my actions just open wide. The rooting of how messed up things were, specifically when it came to finances, it's like it was like a light bulb that went, it's like that right there. I'm a big fan, and ever since I started to really open up and that my authorship, being a guest speaker of many podcasts, doing many things that supposedly will get me out of my comfort zone, it's been the biggest blessing in my life. And this moment right here, it's like, you know what? I am going to get out of my comfort zone again today. And it's been a huge blessing in my life. This is and I don't really say this a lot because I've been in dozens and dozens of podcasts, and I open up most of the time. I really don't leave anything behind. I don't limit myself in my speech and what I talk about. I think profound conversations are not only important for me in my healing process, but it's important for others to listen and to say, it's like, hey, I can relate to that. But this today was one of the most powerful conversations I ever had with anybody. I cannot thank you enough for this moment. And my takeaway is this. Yes, there is always room for improvement. Yes, and the more informed that we are, the better it is to understand. And yes, it's like simple, important conversations like these need to really take place. And you guys are phenomenal. You're powerful at what you do. And thank you for sharing your power and your craft with all of us, with me, with everybody that has been at your podcast. And my biggest takeaway is that I am safe.
Oh, yes.
Safe in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely, today a new chapter just opened in my life. And I am so emotional and grateful and thankful to God for putting you guys in my life and how we connected and met each other. And thank you again. Yeah, I'm speechless. I talk a lot, but now I'm speechless, which is
It's so
good.
Yeah, well, my takeaway is just the reality of the splintering of that, the reality of peace over you, that you've got different pieces, but now you're moving into a whole new realm to where you're having it all.
Yes.
And that we're breaking off finally the connection between prosperity and unsafety,
Yeah.
but it's moving to prosperity
And
and safety. So
Yes.
that's awesome.
Amen.
Well, we
Amen for
thank you
that.
so much. It's
Oh,
been
Blanca, we
such a great
bless you.
pleasure to
Yes.
be with you, to work with
Thank
you.
you.
And I appreciate my wife. She's got such great insight
Oh,
and
thank you, honey.
understanding. And we were able to pull it all together. So
Yes.
thank you all for joining us
Yes.
for Transform You. And until next time, we say, God bless and
Have a voice.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of personal transformation and inner healing? Our intensive online coaching program is designed for individuals and couples seeking to reconnect with their true selves. Dive into our lessons, activations, live coaching calls, and educational readings tailored to uncover limiting beliefs, healing emotional wounds, and to cultivate a life filled with authenticity. Transform yourself, transform your relationships. It's time to transform you. See the description below to see how to join Transform You.